Hey, you guys, give me just a second. I do need to get this shared out to everybody so that you will actually know that I'm live. So give me just a moment. I still have not figured out how to do the scheduled ones yet. They do have the option in YouTube to schedule the lives. I've tried it and it, for whatever reason, it doesn't work for me. Like if I schedule it, I can see the scheduled live, but you guys can't see the scheduled live. So I don't know why it's that way. And that's why I have to do it this way, where I actually have to go live and then share the link after I'm live. So that's what I'm doing now. So give me just a second. Let me get the link shared out and then we can get started. Save and close. So it's there. Save and close. And it's doing something. And we will send now. And then give me just a second. Let me go post this in the Facebook group as well. And then we'll get the live started. So we'll talk about the head and then we'll talk about the head of the doll and also talk about the arms and see um, and talk about the arms. Give me just a second. People, of course, everybody's like asking me questions and all this kind of stuff. Live stream is here. Did that work? And then I will post, and I think somebody actually asked, was there a live stream? And I'll just post that here. And yeah, so I see a couple of people joining. Hey, you guys, happy. What day is it? Happy November. I know it's November. What day is it? November 6th. It's November 6th. Today is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hey, jeez, Louise, I got to get it together. Thank you, Miss Faye. Thank you very much. Today is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope y'all are having a great Wednesday. So I see quite a, hey, Vanessa, thank you for joining. So I'll give a few minutes for a few more people to join to see that there is actual live stream happening. I know you guys were not on when I was first talking. And so I hate that I have to do it this way where I have to go live and then tell you guys that I'm live after I've already gone live. But YouTube, for whatever reason, when I try to schedule the lives, it doesn't work the way that it should work. Like if I schedule it, I can see that I've scheduled it and I can see that there's a scheduled live and I can go live from the scheduled live, but you guys can't see that I'm live in the scheduled live. And so that's why we're still doing it this way. But like I said, I'll give just like another minute or so and let a few more people join, and then we'll get started. As usual, if you can't stay or if you can't join this evening, then you will always have the option to watch the replay. For those of you who were in the first crochet along, so I'm almost done with my doll. I'm almost done with the doll from the first crochet along. Like, who hosts the crochet along and don't finish the project? As you know, I didn't necessarily want to do this sweater for her, but for my own, I had to go ahead because my doll is already sold, and I was just like, boo, how long you gonna hold on to this doll talking about her top? So I needed to go ahead and do her top. and I'm right now making some little pom-poms for her skates. I am excited though that the skates do actually spin, and I did get a little rolling action on them. Not a whole lot. I know, right, Lindsay? They did turn out really good. They do spin, so they will spin. I got some spinning action going. And I tried to like put them on a surface and see how they would roll. Um, yeah, the rolling, not so much. I mean, they did roll a little bit, but not like as smooth as I wanted them to. Like, I just wanted them to roll. And they kind of roll and then stop, roll and then stop. But I'm happy with it. I mean, it was an idea and I tried it. And, we got something. We got some skates. They still some skates. And I'm happy that you do have the option if you want, if you're making yours to make these spin if you do want them to spin. So I am happy about that. But she's almost, like I said, I'm making some pom-poms for her skates now. And so I'm happy with the way she turned out. I hope the person that she's going to is happy with her. So yeah. Hey, Dr. Powell. And so tonight, so I did see a few of you who were in the first one asked about, is the head for the second one the same as the head from the first one? For the most part, yes. I don't think that I made any changes. If you were in the first crochet along, and this is the awesome thing that I like about crochet, especially when you're crocheting from a pattern or something like that, especially after you do it the first time. If there's something about it that you want to change, it's easier to go ahead and make those changes because you've done it before. You know what it looks like if you just do it the way that it was done before. And of course, if you like that, then by all means, go with that. But if you want your head to be bigger, you know that you would add additional increase rows. If you wanted your head to be smaller, you might take an increase row out. I don't know why you would want it to be smaller because they already small, as we saw from the first class. They already small. So I don't think anybody really wants theirs to be smaller. But if for some reason you think, oh, the head is too big, because this is what mine is looking like so far. If you're thinking the head might be too big, you can definitely take out an increase row and it would be smaller. If you feel like she doesn't have enough face, like if you feel like, okay, so after I do my increase rows and I do my regular rows and I start decreasing, if you feel like you're decreasing too fast and you would want her to have a bit more face, then you would simply add more rows of the single crochet in each stitch around. So I think I do either 9 or 10 rows. So I don't have the pattern in front of me, but I think I do, it's either 9 or 10 rows of just single crochet in each stitch around. If you wanted your doll to have like a bit more face area, maybe you would do 11 or 12. But so the only thing then, if you decide to do that, you don't have to change anything except that when you get ready to decrease, that number would be different as far as what row you're on, but the decrease would still be the same. So don't think, because unless you did more increase rows or you took out a decrease row. So if you haven't figured it out yet, your decrease rows follow your increase rows. So if you went up to single crochet in the next 7 stitches, single crochet increase, if you decided to do single crochet in the next 8 stitches and then do an increase, when you get ready to decrease, your first decrease row is going to be single crochet in 8 and then decrease, because you want to decrease the same way you increase so that you still get a nice round head. Okay, that makes sense? That makes sense? But yeah, so that's the head itself though. Like I said, if you were in the first crochet along, the head itself is pretty simple. Not a lot of change. I don't really change my heads that much. Mainly, the main thing that I do change is that sometimes I do need a bit more face. So like if the doll has like distinctive facial features, like if they have eyebrows and they're like, because normally I don't do the eyebrows on my doll designs, but if they say I want the doll to have eyebrows, then I know that I'm going to have to give my doll more face in order for her to have eyebrows. Because right now, this would be her hairline is here. Like once I put on the wig cap, this is her hairline. If I do faux lashes, the plastic faux lashes, we don't, I have to be careful about that because it's like, well, wait, where her eyebrows gonna go? So if I needed to give her eyebrows, she would end up having more of the single crochet in each stitch around so that I would have somewhere to put eyebrows. So that's what I think about when I'm deciding, am I going to do the head exactly the same or do I need to change something on the head? I'm thinking about what is her face going to look like and what exactly do I need to do for her face. I have only ever used, when I first started making dolls, I was using 12 millimeter doll eyes. And I went up to 15, and I don't think I've ever used anything bigger than a 15. 15 seemed to work for me. I do have 16 millimeter eyes. Yes, Lindsay. So if you're gonna do thick like eyebrows, then do maybe like 2 additional rows of single crochet in each stitch around because you're gonna need the space to put the eyebrows. Like I said, my doll heads tend to be, because I normally don't do lips. And again, so if you're gonna, now you can put lips on her. You can put lips on her. Like it's like she could still get lips, but it's not a lot of room. Like, so I don't even do big lips. I do really, like my lips are really small. Like I'll show, like, so most of my dolls, if they are going to get lips, I have to use like these real tiny ones because they don't have enough face for like really big lips. So I have to take that into account. Like, again, I have to, okay, not crooked lips, but y'all get what I'm saying. It's hard for me to do it without looking at her. But like I do have bigger lips, and she would look real cartoonish if I did like some really big lips on her because her face is not big enough for, you see, like if I were to do something like this, to me, for my aesthetic, this looks a little too cartoonish for me. It looked like she chewing some bubble gum and she about to blow a big old, see, that's too much because I still got to put a nose here. And to me, her nose would be too close to her lips. So these lips would not be on this face. If I wanted to use lips like this size, I would give her more face. So yeah. But as I was saying with the eyes, I do have 16 millimeter eyes. I've never used them for the same reason. To me, they just look too big for my doll's face when I try to use 16 millimeter. So I think somebody was asking about what size, if they use a different size hook, should they use a different size eyes? It really depends on what you like and what you want it to look like. I personally 15 millimeter just seemed like the perfect size to me. But if you want bigger eyes, because I think in the first crochet along, there was someone who did like really big brown eyes and they were gorgeous. I absolutely loved it. I would never do it because it's just not my aesthetic. But looking at it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. But it's not something that I would do. So that's the other part of this too. You will, if you decide like you want to make more than one doll, like you'll start seeing like, oh, I like this, but I don't like this. Like, this is the reason I don't put eyebrows on. I don't like eyebrows. That's why. I just don't. And so like someone has to specifically say to me, I want eyebrows on my doll. Because otherwise, I don't even think about it. I'm just like, what? No, I'm not doing no eyebrows. Like, no, she's not getting eyebrows. The dolls that I've done with eyebrows, I've loved them. And they were really cute. But just in my general doll making, I'm just like, no. And the same thing with lips. Like, because people ask me like, it's a huge debate about dolls having lips. Like, a huge, like, there are some, like, one lady told me, like, she was just like, oh, I could never support you because you don't put lips on your dolls. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. She said I was silencing the dolls, and I was just like, boo, that's why I don't put lips on them, because I don't want no Chuckies in my house. I need them to be quiet. I don't need them to think that they ain't gonna be up in here having a conversation with me for real. Like, we talk for play. but I am not about to give you no lips so you can be like, Yolanda, no, not having it over here. So it's a huge debate about whether or not the doll should have lips. I personally think not. Now, again, because I do this as a business, my customers oftentimes do say they want their dolls to have lips. I am very accommodating. I promise you, the lips are the last thing the doll gets. And as soon as she get them lips, I take pictures, she go in a box, and she getting out my house. Because you and your lips need to go wherever you go. You go to wherever it is you're going with your lips, but you will not stay here. But yes, I'm very accommodating. So if they ask for lips, I'll do lips. If they ask for eyebrows, I'll do eyebrows. I'll do all of those things. But I say all that to say, take into account the doll's face and how much room you got to do all of those things. Absolutely afraid of Chucky. Yes, ma'am. So take into account all of those things and how much room you have to do those things on your doll's face, and then kind of play around with it a little bit so that you can adjust accordingly. I hope that is helpful. It's not hard to make the finished neck part. Which part? This is, are you talking about this? Or are you talking about when we put it on? Like when we get ready to attach this to the doll's head? Yes, I did it for the first one. Yeah, I did it for the first one, right? What, Tequila, you were in the first one, right? There's a video showing how I attached this to, I don't know if you were in the first. I'll do it for this one as well, but if you were in the first one, there's already a video showing how I attach the head. And that's what the video is called, How I Attach the Head. But yes, I will do it for this one as well, because I know there are quite a few new folks, and welcome new folks to the crochet along. I know there are a lot of new folks in this one. And so yes, I will show you how I attach my doll's heads to their bodies. Yes, I will. I do attach them towards the end. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I do a video. I sure do. And so yeah. Hey, Don. So that's the head. Does anybody have any questions about the head? Is anybody having any issues with the head? This is Hobby Lobby I Love This Cotton. So I did use a 3.5 millimeter hook with this design, because this is the Hobby Lobby I Love This Cotton. She does have hand painted eyes. These eyes were courtesy of the Christian Crochet Addict. I had asked her for a different pair, and she ended up sending me 2 pair, and so I was very grateful. And so I'm using these for my Winter Princess theme design. But they are still 15 millimeter hand painted eyes. But this is, like I said, this is Hobby Lobby I Love This Cotton in taupe. That's what I'm using. And so for this, I did use a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. If I was going to do Hobby Lobby I Love This Yarn, Red Heart Super Saver, any of those brands, I probably would have used the 3.75. But just for, and I don't have, I was going to show you a size reference, my using the 3.75, but I don't have it close to where I am, because it never turns out to be as round. Tequila, so first of all, what kind of polyfill are you using? The only polyfill I use is Fairfield Polyfill. That's it. It's this brand polyfill. It's the only brand I use. It is the only brand I recommend. I have used others before, but I use the original polyfill by Fairfield. That's number one. Not all polyfills are made the same. Number two, make sure that your tension is the same. Like, try to be mindful of your tension when making your doll head. Your doll, no parts of the doll do I recommend you make, put down, and come back. Like, so if you start the head, you need to be you need to be able to finish it for the most part in one sitting. Like, normally what I do is, yes, it is going to be a dress. Um, you will have the option to do long sleeves or short sleeves. I will show you my arms in just a moment. Mine will have long sleeves, but you will have the option if you don't want to do long sleeves. You don't have to. It will be a dress similar to the dress of the ponytails doll pattern that is pictured. Um, it's just going to be fuller. That's the best way I can explain it. It's going to be really full. So just know that her dress will require you to crochet a lot because it's going to be a really full dress. And so the dress is probably going to take you the longest amount of time. And yeah, because it's going to be a full, like a really poofy full dress. But yeah, but it's going to be a dress. What was I saying? Stuffing. So first thing first, make sure that your stitches are even. Make sure that you pretty much do this in one sitting. Do not try to, as I was saying, normally what I do is I do all my increase rows, and if I have to get up, like if I need to use the restroom, if for whatever reason, if I need to get up, I try to get up like at the end of, okay, I did all my increase rows, so now I can go to the bathroom. And then when I come back, I'm going to do all my decrease, because I'm not going to do like, and then come back to it tomorrow. Because again, my tension when I wake up in the morning is totally different from my tension when I get ready to go to bed or in the evening time when I crochet. So you do want to try to make sure that you're doing all of the things that you can in one sitting. So like even before I get ready to go to bed, I try not to do limbs before I'm going to bed, because normally what happens is I'll do one limb and then I don't want to do the second one. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm tired, and I don't want to do the second one. So I normally do the limbs like in the morning, like if I need to do limbs, because I know that I can go through and do both of them. I've tried it. Trust me. Like some people are just like, oh no, I crochet this. Like, no, you don't. I promise. Like the littlest thing can change how you crochet. I watch a commercial. The commercial done made me cry. What are you doing with your life? Like sit over here, and then I'm just like, okay, put the crochet down, because now you're gonna have to start all over. Like you're gonna have to start all over. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of the type of stuffing that you're using, because all stuffing is not the same. And yeah, because if you start watching something, and if that, like I'm telling you, if there's something exciting going on in whatever it is you're watching, even if you're just listening to it, because if you crochet like I crochet, you're really just listening, you're not watching, like my tension will get tighter because I'm anticipating what's happening on the show, and I will notice my stitches done got real tight, and y'all already know that she crochet a little bit loose. So for me to have some tight stitches, like what? Like something really had to be going on. Or if it's something and it's very relaxing, like if I'm listening to an audiobook and it's like a real relaxing, just nice little storyline, boo, her head would have been big as I don't know what, because I would have been super relaxed and I wouldn't have been paying attention to what I was doing. So just be mindful of that, because all of those things do affect how this turns out. With the stuffing, you stuff and shape from the inside. And so I stuff even before I put my eyes in. If you saw the video of how I do my eyes in the email that I sent, you know that I put stuffing into the doll's head before I put my eyes in, because her shape, the shape of her head changes once I put stuffing in here. And so I might like the way the eyes look when her head is flat, but not look like the way they look once I stuff. And so for me, I have to put stuffing into the head and then place my eyes so that I can see, oh, that's what it looks like round and stuffed. Um, I use the little tool that comes with the polyfill, this little thing here. You can use a crochet hook, a stick, or anything. And I use it to, because I have small hands, so I use it to move my stuffing around. So, like, if I feel like, oh, I didn't get enough stuffing in this space over here, I use it and I can kind of like touch and move the stuffing around and like put stuffing where stuffing needs to be. And like for me, a lot of times I find that I don't have stuffing, like for whatever reason, this doesn't, like it's not stuffed as full as I want it. And so I find that I have to take this and like really get the stuffing in there really good. So find you something like this, because sometimes your hand is just not enough. Yes, yes, because you want to make sure that it's even. Now here's the other thing I do, and it's hard to show you guys. So even with my hand, even before this is finished, I stuff outside, and it's almost like there's a hole in the middle, and then I'm filling that in from the outside, if that makes sense. So I'm stuffing this part of her head first and then coming towards the middle. So when I'm putting stuffing in, I'm moving the stuffing to the outside of her head first. And then as I'm stuffing, I start to fill it in, fill it in, fill it in. But I always move the stuffing to the outside of her head first. And then kind of fill in the middle part. Now, there still is like a hole here because, you know, I do use a wooden dowel, and the wooden dowel has to have a nice place to sit as well. So what I don't want to happen is that this is so stuffed that when I get ready to put my wooden dowel in there, that I can't get my dowel in there. You see how easy my dowel went in there? Because there's literally a hole for the dowel. I literally have a hole there for the dowel. So I basically just take my finger and I just, you know, make a space for this dowel. Now, before I close this up, I will make sure that there's stuffing around it, but there needs to be a place for this dowel to go easily, because that dowel needs to touch the top of her head. And we'll talk about that more when we talk about how I sew on my neck. A lot of people email me about, oh, my doll has a floppy neck. My doll has a floppy neck. I don't know any other way to do this without something that is there. So this one is 12 inches, but it will have to be cut. And it's going to depend on the size of your doll, but I'll show you how I cut it as well. A lot of people don't like the way I do it. It's the way I do it. So, but I'll show you how I do it. There are some people who do not agree with my method, and that's fine. My method works for me, and it makes sure that my doll's neck ain't about to fall off her body. That's so we want to make sure, but the important thing is that you do want to make sure that this dowel is going to be touching the top of her head. And so in order to do that, we want to make sure there's a space for this to go. So, but we'll talk about this when it's time. Anyway, Dawn, it works. When they're done, their head does not fall off. Does not fall off. But does anyone else have any questions about the head of their doll? I'll show you guys the arms. And I will actually send out the arms email tomorrow. Like I said, you have the option to do short sleeve or long sleeve. I'm doing long sleeve. And as you can see here, Amazon, you don't, didn't I do the link? I didn't give y'all the link to these this time. I'm sorry. I'm slacking. I apologize. Amazon, they're pre-cut 3/4 inch circles. These work really well for me for 15 millimeter eyes. But I'll put a link up to where you can get them. But yeah, they're on Amazon. I also have these, which are way bigger. I only use these if I'm trying to do like an almond shape or something like that, because basically you can just cut this in half and it will give you a very nice shape for your doll eye. For the bigger ones. But the smaller ones, if you're just trying to get a little white around, oh, that's right, you got a cricket. Okay. But you're just trying to make the white, like just have a small white space around it, then The small ones work really well. The small ones work really well. But her arms. So, as you can see, I'm doing long sleeve, which is why I changed to the top color of her arm here. We're doing the arm just slightly different, just a little bit different, because I needed to be able to put a little detail around here. If you do not want to do long sleeve, if you don't want it to be long sleeve, you don't do don't change to the skin tone, don't do back loop only. You'll just, don't change to the top color. You'll just do skin tone all the way through if you don't want yours to have long sleeves. I'm doing long sleeves just because the dress will work whether you do long sleeve or short sleeve. The idea that I have in mind will work whether you do long sleeve or short sleeve. Like, it's not gonna take away from the doll if you decide to do short sleeves on it. So don't feel like, oh, I have to do long sleeve, because I went back and forth on whether or not I was doing long sleeve or short sleeve, and finally when I started making them, I changed color. So I was like, well, she's gonna have long sleeve because I had changed the color. So, but for the longest time, the idea I had in my head was short sleeve. Even though it's Winter Princess, it was still short sleeve. So you can do either one, long sleeve or short sleeve. Like I said, if you're gonna do short sleeve, just keep working with the skin tone all the way through. These are her arms, and like I said, for me, if you do the long sleeve, she'll have a little detail here on her wrist. There'll be a little wavy situation on her sleeve if you do the long sleeve. If you do the short sleeve, you can do it on the short sleeve too, but it's gonna look cute on the long sleeve. So that's all. But you'll get this pattern tomorrow, and that way you can work on, if you haven't started your head, you can go ahead and get your head done, and you can get the arms done. We'll do her legs, body. We'll probably go right into the chest as well, because like I said, the dress is probably going to take you longer to do her dress than it takes you to do her body, because the dress is just a lot of crochet. It's just a lot of crochet. But it's going to be really pretty. It's a lot of crochet, but it's going to, and I say a lot of crochet, and it's probably not a lot of crochet. It's a lot of crochet for me, but for you guys, if you're like used to making like blankets and all of that and scarves and stuff, like, you're probably like used to it. It's a lot of crochet for me. I'm like, geez Louise, is this dress ever gonna be done? Ever gonna be done? The dress is something that you will be able to put down and come back to. Just remember what stitches you're on, because the dress has like some waves in it, and so you just need to remember, am I on an increase row or not? Am I increasing or not? But that's where we are for now. I know a lot of you have questions about the fur. Y'all stop. Don't be scared of the fur. I promise you. Don't be scared. Here's the thing about it. If you decide that the fur is too much, you don't want to go that route, you will be able to still make the doll. She will still be very pretty, even if you don't use the fur. So do not stress yourself out about the fur. I am being extra with the fur. Somebody told me I was being extra. They was like, oh, you being way extra with the fur. I know this. But I do not want you guys to stress out about it. You will be able to do all the parts of it, even if you don't use the fur at all, and she will still be very pretty. Like, your doll will be very pretty, and you will be very pleased, and you will be happy, even if you don't use the fur. So do not let the fur stress you out. We're not even going to use a whole lot of it. I was going to use a whole lot of it, but I saw how bad y'all was stressing over it, so I scaled back. I was like, okay, well, maybe we won't do all of what I was thinking, because y'all was making me scared a little bit. I was like, wait, is this too much? So we're not even going to, because for a moment, boo, she was about to have a floor-length coat in front. She was about to have a whole mink coat in fur, but y'all was like, boo, we don't want to do that. So we gonna do something a little more subtle. A little more subtle, and she's still gonna be gorgeous. It's still gonna be gorgeous. Yeah, well, no, because either I'm going to do floor length mink or not. So there is no option. There is no option. Either she getting to the floor or not. Like I can't do both. I cannot do both options. It's gonna be one or the other. But I'm gonna go with the other one too, because the reason I'm gonna go with the other one is again, one, we ain't got that much time. Because I need this to be done like before Thanksgiving. So we don't have enough time to do floor length probably. Especially with the dress. When I realized, well, and for me, when I realized how long the dress is actually taking, I was like, well, we might not have time for floor length. We might not have time. And so, but we'll do something a bit more simple. It should still be really pretty. Really pretty. And you will, hopefully, so when I'm stuffing, I do mine. So if it's the head, so first of all, because mine comes, so like if a big pile like this comes out the bag, like of course I'm not trying to use all of this. So for the arms, something like this, I'm probably pulling like this much, and this is only gonna probably stuff probably to about right here. This much stuffing will only probably take me about halfway up her arm. Now for the head, I could definitely take a bit more and then like fill in the head. But I don't now, unless it's like a really small space, like when I was doing the wheels on the skate, I took like this much. But otherwise, you should have like a significant amount. You should have like a significant amount of stuffing. Like you don't want to, because the thing with the stuffing is it kind of balls up on, like it kind of like, I don't want to take the stuffing out. But if you've ever taken stuffing out, like it comes out in like little balls. And so you don't want to have it like just little pieces. Like go ahead and stuff it. And like I said, use the stuffing tool, or like you can use your wooden dowel, you can use a crochet hook, like for something like this. Now you should be stuffing as you go. Please stuff as you go. Don't make a whole arm. Thank you, Dawn. That's the word. It compacts. Don't take a whole arm, make the whole arm, and now you got to go back and stuff. You do want to stuff as you go. And as you're stuffing, if you realize, oh, well, it's a little space down here, then you can take the stuffing tool and get down there and kind of move it around. But you kind of want to pay attention to that before you finish your whole arm. Like you want to pay attention to that before the whole arm is done. So yeah, but this is very helpful. I don't know if anybody's using this. This is really, really, really helpful for getting the stuffing to kind of move to the places that you need it to be. Because sometimes like I said, I have small hands. There is no way that one of my fingers is going to get down in here as this gets longer. Even if, and then like if you have bigger hands, you're now, because here's the other thing, you don't want to be stretching out your stitches trying to get stuffing in there. That's where this becomes really handy, because it's small and it still moves the stuffing around without messing up your stitches too much. Because that's the other thing. Once you start manipulating and messing around with your stitches, then you just like, well, geez Louise. Because see, you want them to be tight enough that you don't see the stuffing coming out, but you also want this to be really stuff. You want this to be really stuff. I did. I mentioned this with the first doll. I sure did. I did. Tell her, whoever was in the first one, tell her. I talked about this. It might have been brief, but I did talk about this. Because I said that you should find it in your polyfill bag. Like they don't, if you order the polyfill by the box, you won't get one. If you order the bag, there'll be one in the Fairfield polyfill bag. And that's where I normally get mine from. I got a whole bunch of them. It was real brief. Yeah, it might have been real brief. But I did talk about it. I said to use it. Because this is like one of those, it's like one of those hidden, nobody nobody says they use it, but they use it kind of things. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you do. Cause it's in there. It's in there, but you gotta search for it. Yes, you can use your crochet hook. You can use your wooden dowel. The thing with the wooden dowel though, the only thing, cause see, you see how this one has one pointy end and then one blunt end. Your wooden dowel doesn't give you that option. Chopsticks will work. They sure will. So if you go to the Chinese restaurant, just tell them you want chopsticks and then take them home. Chopsticks will work. I used chopsticks before I figured out what this was inside the bag. So chopsticks will work. But this definitely helps you get the stuff and moved around. But I'm excited about our winter princesses. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to create for yours. And for the hair, you'll have options with the hair. If you were in the first crochet along, you see people did all kinds of different hairstyles. I have a hairstyle in mind that I will be sharing, but you will have options for the hair. Like she'll almost be able to wear any hairstyle you give her. So yeah, you won't, I'm not doing puffs though. So if you want to do puffs for her, you can, but I'm not doing puffs for this one. And what else? We might do a crown since she's a princess. I might give y'all a real quick crown pattern, since she's a princess. Oh, Katrina, I can't wait to see it. But does anybody have any questions about anything? This one, now normally, if this is your first time joining, again, thank you for joining. Normally I will crochet on the crochet along. I'm not necessarily crocheting on this one because my head was already done. And there's really nothing super tricky about the head. If you do have questions, or if you need to see something, please let me know. I think, no, it will go out tomorrow, Monet Crochet. It'll go out tomorrow. Somebody asked in the group about a mouth. Beth. So first thing first, Beth, I like the mouth that you did on your doll from the first crochet along. That mouth was fine. If you want to, not doing full length coat, babe. If you want me to show you how I do a really simple, and when I say simple, I mean simple. It might be too small for your liking. That's the only reason why I wouldn't show it to you. Like, cause you might say, boo, what is we gonna do with that little mouth? But I have done an embroidered, not really embroidered, but I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of it and show you guys. Not doing it. Yeah. Stop. Well, seriously, we don't have time. Like, we really don't have. Oh, I shouldn't say we. I don't have time. Like, with the orders that I need to get out, I was being very ambitious with the full length coat. Very ambitious. But she was about to walk into the Christmas party like, boo, you see me? She was about to come to the Christmas party like, hello, and hello. Like, somebody take my coat, okay? That's what she was about to do. But, yeah. She gonna go to the Christmas party and, you know, no full length, you know, no full length at this one. She's just gonna be regular at this one. But they still gonna be looking though. They still gonna be looking, but she's just gonna be regular. I'm trying to find a picture of the doll. I'll post it up in the group because I have done a doll with an embroidered mouth, and so if you want to see that one, Beth, I can definitely show you guys how I did it because it's really simple. But if y'all are, you know, good, nobody has any questions, like I said, if you're in the Facebook group, feel free to post your questions there. Thank you again to you guys who are answering questions for people when I am not available. I certainly appreciate it. If you're not in the Facebook group, if you're just via email, know that you can email me. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Remember that you will always have access to these via the link. Do not share the link. Do not share the link. This one will probably be okay for the share because, like I said, I didn't do any of the crochet work. But like when I'm doing crochet work, when I'm doing like how I sew on my neck, not that it's like a trade secret or anything, but again, you paid $10 for the information, so don't share it. That's all. Just don't share it. You paid for it. It's yours. Don't share it. And so yeah, things that I am okay with sharing, I have no, like, if you're subscribed to my YouTube, you will know there are certain things that are just up there free for the public, and then things like this, this is not visible unless you have the link. So the only way you see it is because you have the link. And so you will always have access to it via the link. So it won't go anywhere. Like if you're scared, oh, well, what happens if I miss part of it? If I don't, don't worry. Like I said, when you see the link, you will have access to it forever. Unless YouTube like disappears or something and takes, well, even then you'll still have access to it because I got it. It's saved with me. And so I'll just send it to you. Okay, should we get worsted yarn to match the fur yarn? You can? Yes. I'm just going to go ahead and say yes. You don't have to unless you are like really scared of working with the fur. That does help you work with the fur much easier. But because we're not, if we were going to do the full length, absolutely, I would have said yes, get the matching color to your fur yarn if we were doing the full length, because it makes it go so much smoother. But because of what we're doing now, you should be able to do it without it, but you can definitely have some on hand just in case you for whatever reason can't see the stitches, because that's the main thing with the fur yarn. It's really hard to see your stitches. And so having a complementary or the same color as the fur definitely helps. I was going to, like I said, she was going to be at real extra, but she's still going to be cute. I don't want y'all to think, oh, I, bailed out on you and now just giving you some half. No, she's still going to be cute. Still going to be really cute. We're just not going to go all out with the fur. Like, because I was planning to go all out with the fur. That's all. We just not going to go fur to the other level. That's all. Well, thank you, Tequila. I appreciate it. I appreciate that so, so very much. But I'm not going to hold you guys up too much. Like, I don't want to keep you up here all night. I know folks got to get up and go to work in the morning. I got to go to the gym in the morning because, she trying to have a hot girl winter. Is that a thing? Can I have a hot girl winter? That's not a thing, right? Okay. So, but I do have to go to the gym in the morning because I'm trying to be healthier. That's what I'm trying to be. Not have a hot girl winter. I'm trying to be healthy. Oh, yeah. I wish I would. Like, so, Valerie, do y'all have daylight saving time? Because, honey, can somebody bring, like, I was like, how is it 5:30 and it's completely dark outside? Like, completely dark. Like, no sun in sight at 5:30. How? And I'm trying to figure out, how did that happen basically overnight? It was just like, one day, it's going to be dark. Like, I'm just like, really? Who came up with this? Like, who? And if we didn't say that there was a such thing as daylight savings time, would this still happen? Like, I'm trying to figure out, is this God-made or man-made? Like, who's controlling this? Would this still happen if somebody didn't say there was daylight savings time? Like, is this of God? This is man-made. I was wondering. Who turned the sun down? Who turned the sun down? Like, where did the sun go? But any case, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But I really do miss my sunlight. I really do miss my sunlight. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I need daylight savings times back. That's what I need back. I need it not to be dark until 8 o'clock. That's what I need. I need that to come back because it's like, boo, I work all day, and normally I was taking pictures at like 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. Now, I gotta work and work and work and work and then get up early so that I can take pictures in the daytime. Cause my babies need natural light. They don't do no, they don't do them box lights. They like, but what is this? They need natural sunlight on their bodies. Yeah, that's wonderful, Miss Valerie, because I can't tell you the last time I saw 5 a.m. I don't know. See, I be thinking I'm doing something by waking up at 7. Jeez Louise. I be like, boy, I got up at 7 o'clock. And she over here talking about 5 o'clock walk. So that means you was up before 5 a.m. if you walking at 5 a.m. Jeez. What? If you walking at 5, so you up before 5. Yeah. She gonna stick to 7 and be happy with 7 a.m. for now. I'm not gonna say ever, but not gonna say ever, but for right now, 7 o'clock is her wake up time. But you guys have a wonderful Wednesday night. I will, like I said, I'll be in your inbox tomorrow with the arms. There'll probably be, I'll probably have to do a recorded video for the arms and put that up. Or they'll still be alive next week. We'll probably be working, I'll show you guys like the leg joint and stuff like that, because I know that kind of trips people up sometimes, how I join my legs. So we'll look at that, and yeah, we'll see where we are. Oh, Katara, it's almost over. You got the same link though. A link will work for you to be able to watch the replay. The magic ring? Are you struggling on the magic ring? I can show you that. I will show. You know what? There's a video up. I'll send you the video. I didn't do it because I was being petty in the video. And I was, yeah, it was a little petty. Are you team magic ring or team chain 4? I'm team magic ring. If you are not team magic ring, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'll put the video in the group so that you can see it. There's a video that shows you how to do it, whether you're magic ring or chain 4. You can start it either way. You can start it either way, whether you're chain 4 or magic ring. Both ways will work. But because it's hard for me to do it because the camera is facing me. But basically for me, we're going to create an X on our fingers. So that's how I start mine. We start with an X. Let me post the video because you're not going to understand it with me doing it this way. Know that on the next live, I will not be on camera. The camera will be on my hands and we'll actually be working. That's normally how the lives go. They're normally, the camera is not on me. The camera is normally on. Y'all still talking about this full go. The camera is normally on my hands, and that's what we'll have next time. Look, you guys, I got a new contraption too. So for the people who were in the first crochet along, y'all know I was on the struggle bus with how to record because it was so hard. Well, I got a whole new little thing now so that it'll make it easier for me to be able to record just my hands. So this will sit like right on the table, and I don't have, because normally I was using my tripod and it was really hard to like work around the whole tripod and still have the camera in focus. But now she gonna be working. We can work all night, but we're not. So I'll be, like I said, I won't be on camera next time. I got it from Amazon. I'll put the link up if you want one. As you can see, I put it together. This moves too. So like this will lean forward. See, it'll come down. It'll come straight up. It'll come back. It's real nice. And the neck comes out a little further. Like I can I think, but that's as high as it goes. It doesn't go higher than that, and it'll come all the way down. So yeah, so it does this, and then this little part right here. Now it didn't come with this little orange part. That's mine. This little orange piece, I already had that. But this little part right here allows this to move so you can have it go however you need it to go. So it's really nice. It was only, I think it was maybe $19. I think it might have been $19. I think, but I'll put the link for anyone who's interested in it, because I had to get something other than that tripod, because there was no way that I was gonna make it through another crochet along reaching around a tripod. It was just too much, and the tripod wasn't giving me the ability to kind of adjust and move the way that I needed it to get a good angle. So I'm super excited about this, and hopefully it'll be better for you guys too who are watching and being able to see what's happening with my hands. All right, again, let me go. I've said I'm gonna go like 5 different times now. I'm gonna go for real. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you. It was long. It was long. And like I said, I'll send out the arms tomorrow, and we'll be live again next week. Probably on Wednesday again next week. I hope Wednesday. I know some people have Bible study, but again, you can watch the replay. No full length coat. Good night.